Welcome back to our conversation with 8th District Congressman Stephen Lynch of South Boston. Congressman, the president has ordered major cuts in the number of U.S. troops in Afghanistan and smaller cuts in our forces in Iraq. Last week, you wrote to the acting defense secretary and the secretary of state, raising serious concerns about those moves. What are they?
Well, first of all, we're at a very delicate point in negotiations with the Taliban. We're very concerned about the status of women and girls in Afghanistan. There are also major offensives going on right now in Kandahar province, almost to the point where the Taliban are at the doorstep of Kandahar city. Also in Helmand province, there's a major surge going there as well. So, we're seeing a lot of casualties among the government forces in Afghanistan. So this is a very precarious time right now. And by signaling that we're coming out no matter what happens, I think we encourage the Taliban to pursue a military victory there. And that would be disastrous for the civilian population and the current government and the military forces and police in Afghanistan that are trying to provide a stable government. So it's a very bad message to send. It also puts the new administration, the Biden administration, in a very difficult position as well in trying to restabilize, if you will, the situation on the ground there. So I think the president's decision was made against the best advice of his military leaders. And I know that our allies there, remember, we asked people to join us in Afghanistan. So the Brits, the Canadians, the Czechs, the French, we've got a lot of people on the ground there. And now we're pulling out, and they're very upset that we've sort of gone back on our word. And we're doing this in a very, very sudden manner that really isn't measured by the facts on the ground. It's really measured by political considerations on the part of the departing president.
So if you're Donald Trump and you're thinking about maybe running again in 4 years, what a talking point you have when you say, well, I drew down our troops in Afghanistan, and look, Joe Biden put them back in. And that's not a popular war among the American people. Is that what we're looking at here, that kind of craven political positioning?
It could be. It could be.
Thank you, everybody.
He has been particularly adamant about certain promises that he made, whether it's build the wall or end the endless wars. Look, we are on a good trend line, a good pattern right now of drawing down troops. So, and we've got about 5,000 there right now. So I think he could claim right now with what he has done so far, President Trump, that he has brought the number of troops down and actually contributed to the stabilization in the country as we are departing. This last step, though, I think is reckless. It doesn't meet with his timeline in terms of leaving office, but I think if he were interested in completing the entire task in a logical and again, stable fashion that's good for the United States and pursues our overall mission and good for allied forces that are standing up against terrorism and Al-Qaeda and ISIS, I think he would let this play out. And look, he's already set the trend here for withdrawing troops, and I think President Biden, given the opportunity, would do the same. This last bit, pulling people out in a hurry because he expects to be out of office in January, does not serve the overall cause that we've been pursuing here. We've had a lot of sacrifice in terms of putting Afghanistan where it is right now, and now we are jeopardizing any progress that we've made.